From our side, it's the writing on the wall, General, but is China reading that writing on the wall?
Yeah, so I take a step back to say, you know, the trade that we have. For example, we buy photovoltaic cells, which is used for solar industry. Now, it all comes from China. The supply chains are so intertwined in the world that you just cannot get out of this kind of second largest economy of the world. So they have tied it in this manner that it can't be done. Now, how do we react as an issue? You know, very important issue. Now, the point is that if we overreact to the issue, then we are actually bringing our own troops and formations under some kind of a pressure. So we have to measure the response. Okay. We can't say put 1 lakh troops across there just because he's bringing infrastructure. That's not necessary. We'll have to plan in a very deep thought and manner to say how do we do a thing like this, especially now that he's constructed a kind of belt of control, belt of actual control instead of a line of actual control, because it's got and if he tries the same things across to Uttarakhand-Tibet border or in the Sikkim or Arunachal Pradesh, we must deny him what he's done here. Okay. That should not be permitted to be done in anywhere else.
But are we in a position to do so? And you know, I want to go through the last set of pictures that India Today has exclusively accessed as part of this. So one, you're looking at this bridge, you're looking at the gap on this bridge, and explain this gap. Is this to be filled at a later date, or is this to be kept for movement of boats? And I believe India has also acquired some new boats to operate in these waters.
That's the big question, Gaurav. We don't know what the actual purpose of the PLA is, but considering the speed of construction of this bridge, we can conclusively say that this gap has been left on purpose, because it has been weeks since China had completed this part of the construction, and by this time this should have been completed. Now there could be two purposes. A, as you mentioned, passage of assault boats, patrol boats. B, it could also be, you know, the final stages of construction, because they would like construction boats to come across and maybe do service work from the other side. Okay. So that might also play an angle. One important point, Gaurav, last year when disengagement happened, all the Chinese infrastructure moved back to Rutog, right? And then additional infrastructure came. Additional, you know, materials, military, we saw a huge number of huts. Before that, that August 29-30 incident, where Indian Army literally surprised the Chinese by taking the control of strategic heights. This lake, this distance played a huge role. True. It took 12 hours for the Chinese to just surpass this, you know, bypass this body of water and then reach those points. Now that advantage is gone under the guise of disengagement.
Okay, so disengagement was actually a trick played by China. We moved back. We respected the gaps. We moved back. He may have moved back, but he's actually making sure he comes back faster.
So his infrastructure is a threatening move, and we accept it and we must accept it in that form. However, if you know, see, we are also prepared. Naturally, we moved back from Kailash range, but that doesn't mean we are not kind of dominating it in some form or the other. It's not that we have just washed our hands of those areas. So that is there. He, of course, as rightly pointed out, instead of going across the entire Pangong Tso and coming back to the south, Chuti Changla and other areas, he is now able to cross through the bridge. It gives him a little advantage of time. But, you know, how does it matter? In war, none of these bridges will stand.
The first thing to go would be this bridge.
Yeah, so similarly our bridges also. He will also talk. So we all understand it that these are peacetime bridges for peacetime movement of things.
And Ambassador Nambiar, anyway, China doesn't really want to fight a war. It just wants to intimidate the adversary. I was recently in Taiwan, and the assessment in Taiwan also is China's a bully. It doesn't want to fight. It's scared to fight.
No, well, I don't know whether it's scared to fight. It doesn't have the experience as much as probably our own boys have. But at the same time, one shouldn't assume that they are scared to fight. They do have overwhelming power. They do have overwhelming sort of assets, but they are using it psychologically. There's no question that they are doing that.
Okay, so, you know, maybe not scared to fight, but scared to lose lives is the assessment even in Taiwan. When I spoke to some of their officers,